Okay, so today what we're going to talk about is the basic structure of word problems. There are four important basic structures. There's join, separate, compare, and part-part whole. Join and separate both have an action occurring in the word problem. Part-part whole and compare do not. You know it's a compare problem if there's two things in the word problems being compared, and a part-part whole has a set and subsets. So let's go ahead and move to our first word problem. It says, Billy has 50 marbles. 23 of them are purple, and the rest are yellow. How many marbles are yellow? The first thing we need to ask ourselves is there an action occurring? There is not an action occurring, so it narrows it down to either a compare or part-part whole. We know nothing in the word problem is being compared, so we know it's a part-part whole. We know this because we have a set of 50 marbles, and we have two subsets. One is 23 in purple, and the rest are yellow, which is what we're trying to find. You can write this down as 23 plus a box equals 50. And what we're going to do to solve this problem is we're going to use the tool of subtraction. To show this, I'm going to use a set model for part-part whole. So the first thing we need to put on there is the set of 50. I'm going to use our base 10 blocks to show this. So we know from Module 1 that each log represents 10 units. And if we put 5 of these down, we know that if we added 10 5 times, that would equal 50. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So we have 50 right there. So part A is going to represent our purple. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get 23 over there. To do this, we need to regroup one of our logs into 10 units. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this still equals 50. We just replaced the log with 10 units. So now we need to get 23 to part A. So I'm going to move 10, 20, and then 1, 2, 3 for 23. This still equals 50. If we counted this back, this still equals 50. If we said 10, 20, 30, 40, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. That still equals 50. All we did was we subtracted 50 minus 23, which left us with 27 yellow marbles. Just to check ourselves, I'm going to go ahead and write this out. We know that we're subtracting 50 minus 23. We have a 0 in the ones place and a 3 in the ones place. We cannot subtract 0 from 3, so we have to regroup in the tens place the 5 into 4 tens and add that 10 over. So now we have 10 ones subtracted by 3 ones, so that equals 7. And we have 4 tens subtracted by 2 tens, so that equals 2. So yes, our answer would be 27. Okay. A misconception some students might have is the idea of keywords. Some children might get confused with the words of together or more or all as addition problems and less than, less, or how many as subtraction problems. This isn't the case because we can use any of those words for any operation in our word problems. So let's go ahead and move on to our next word problem. Our next word problem says, Susie has 23 pieces of candy. She has less candy than her sister. Susie's friend gave her 40 more pieces of candy. How many does Susie have now? So the first thing we need to ask ourselves is there an action occurring? The answer is yes, because we have 23 pieces of candy and Susie's friend gave her 40 more pieces. So that narrows it down to either a join or separate problem. So we need to find out which one it is. So if we have 23 pieces of candy and her Susie's friend gave her 40 more pieces, that would be a join problem because we're joining those pieces together. The part of the word problem that says she has less candy than her sister is just an example of why students might get confused because they might see that less sign and think that we are subtracting. But we're actually adding because we have 23 pieces of candy and we have to add 40 more to get her result, her total pieces of candy that we're trying to find out how many Susie has. So to show this, we're going to use the linear model, the strip diagram. So I have these strips here. This strip represents the 23 pieces of candy, the length of it. and the color also represents the 23 pieces. So I'm going to glue this down. Okay. And then I'm going to represent this link by drawing a line and writing 23 underneath, and this would be our start. We have our start. This piece here represents the 40 more pieces. It's bigger than the 23 because we're adding 40 more pieces. It's also represented as the color orange to differentiate the different numbers in the word problem. So I'm going to glue this down. And then I'm going to draw a line that represents the 40 pieces, and this would be our change. So what we're looking for is this top line right here, which is the result. We're looking for that result. So to do this, like I said earlier, we're using the tool of addition. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 40 plus 23. So we know that there are 0 ones in the ones place and 3 ones in the ones place, so that would give us 3 ones. And then 4 tens and plus 2 tens equals 6 tens. So that would give us 63 pieces of candy.